Lucky Lefty Podcast. The Onora boys are in the building. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure you do so.
Responsibly.
TFB Nation, presented by Twisted Tea.
That's right. Can't even hit the song to it right now.
No, not today.
Not today, man. Oh
Let
man.
me put a disclaimer out there. If you are a Notre Dame fan that is full of optimism and you don't like anybody saying anything negative about Notre Dame or the program, this show ain't for you today.
Not today.
So
We're gonna
I
have to
would
sit this
I
one
would
out.
I would advise you to log off right now.
Sit this one out now. Because we're gonna have to get real serious about this.
Malik, let's start with how your three keys went.
Well, a lot of what we have problems with. Remember when you said that when we played Navy, we want to come out and score on the first drive. You got to give me 7. I think that was the most important thing we should have had in focus going into this game. We're not leaving the field without 7 points on the first drive. That should have been something we really took into consideration. So scoring early and often, we scored 0 points in the first half. That's terrible. You go from averaging 47 points in 3 games, and you can't get on the board against a team defensively where we was doing what we wanted when we started to play, when we tried to play, instead of play this whole, okay, whatever. So no, we didn't start fast. Uh, the second key was we didn't get the receivers involved early enough. I didn't, it looked like it was so bad. We was motioning receivers from outside to squeeze all the way down to block somebody. That's how much we didn't use receivers. And so I told you that we got Sam Hartman for these 3 games because we needed him to pass us to victory. We didn't do that at all. Kyle McCord outplayed Sam Hartman, a 12,000-yard passer, 5-year vet, and a guy that started 4 games outplayed him and got him down and drove the ball down in 2 minutes to win the game. It's hard to really describe how I feel right now because what did we get Sam Hartman for? If I was Sam Hartman, I'm like, put the ball in my hands. I'm going to take us to victory because I got the team to do it. This was our chance to be an Ohio State team that lacked in a lot of areas, in a ton of areas. Areas that I felt like we could have taken advantage of, which it wasn't good enough. So not utilize our receivers. And then lastly, I believe this was a race to 35 points. To score 0 in the first half and 14 in the second, missing the field goal, it reminded me a lot of last year. Playing not to get blown out or playing not to lose. We got to play to win. And we didn't play to win on Saturday. And it showed. We gave Ohio State chance after chance after chance. We didn't take advantage, chance after chance after chance. And they barely took advantage. We gave up the last drive of the game. I just think everybody's butthole got tight. When the clock started to tick down, we got tight and they didn't. They kept composure. We couldn't. And it resulted in what it did in the end of the game where we had 2 egregious miscues that you just can't have. Stuff that's outside of the players got to make the consistent play. We got plays that you just cannot have and game-like situations that you cannot allow yourself to be in. And, for everything to go wrong, it went wrong. For everything to go wrong, it went wrong. I think everybody shares a piece of the blame, especially the coaching staff, all the way down to the special teams. We talked about the kickers. I'm sick of seeing the kickers not be effective or threaten games. And, missing that kick right there said it all. It said it all. Especially it was dead on right in the middle, and you shanked it horribly. Horribly. So it's not a good feeling to have the next morning. I feel like this loss may have even set us back just due to the sloppiness and due to the non-execution, due to some of the decision making. You got 4 running backs you're rotating all game. You're on your side of the 50. And you get in a 4th and 1 situation after running the ball 3 times. And instead of giving it to Jeremiah Love, who's pretty nice, and Aldrich, that was pretty nice, Jabron had a good play, he had a touchdown, you run it with the least effective runner on the field. And you get stuffed on the 4th and 1. So decision making like that, in combination with the fact that I don't feel like we really know how to win. We know how to play with the team. We know how to keep it close. We know what it feels like to be in a game with low scoring points. But it looked like we played the game to see who can get the ball last and go in for the score. And Ohio State was a team that was able to do that. And you think about our 2-minute situation to bleed the clock out. A lot of miscues. You do 2 obvious runs and you do a screen. A baby could have read that coming. And for us to almost throw a pick on a play where we should just be running the football to take the clock. You throw a ball, they save him a timeout. It just was egregious coaching mistakes, as well as I don't think most of the players, even Sam, know how to get the job done in the crucial moments. I don't think they do. Sam's 0-6 against top teams. All the guys we got are pretty young. But when it comes down to needing that guy to get us over the hump, to do what needs to be done to win the game, we didn't have that. Now, we had a decently good strategy the second half to be able to wear them down, start chugging and trudging through the defensive line through the middle. And, yeah, it was effective all the way into the end. But Notre Dame left so many points on the field, left so many opportunities out there for explosive plays. The whole first half, me and Shaun noticed the safeties were playing as deep as the linebackers. They was playing as deep as the linebackers, which is 5 to 6 yards. The safeties. And to not take any shot past the 20, it's just egregious. You had everybody and their mama, everybody on Twitter, all the fans. Everybody knew what the exact problem was in the first half. And we didn't throw it deep at all, I don't think. So it's a demoralizing loss because of how it happened, from the weight of what this game means, from an optics perspective. Shame on us for not finishing the job. I think everything else, the crowd, the day itself, I mean, they showed up and showed out, but it's a nasty way to lose in a position like that. And it's one of those losses like Cincinnati was. Held over our head the whole season. A coulda, shoulda, woulda game, and it turned out to be affecting us when it came to the playoffs. They ended up getting in and we didn't because of that game. So
You done, Left?
yeah, I got more, but I'm gonna let you kick it off too, man.
I said this to you on the drive home last night. I'm gonna say it again today. I don't give a darn about the rest of the season, bro.
Yeah.
There is nothing this team can do to make me feel better about yesterday.
No.
Nothing. I don't want to hear people talking playoffs, run the table. So we beating USC is nothing.
Because we did it before.
We beaten top USC teams before. We beaten top Clemson teams before. I don't care about those games. This was the game that changed the narrative. This. Marcus Freeman owes those kids an apology. Flat out.
You said he owed him an apology. Yeah, if he gonna talk how he did in the press conference so plainly, yeah, you gotta apologize, dude, because what the hell was that? You got guys playing their ass off. Ben Morrison playing his ass off. Lost a couple battles, won a lot of battles, played great in the clutch. You had guys flying around. DJ Brown had opportunities to put nail in the coffin. Couple times. Matter of fact, twice. That could have changed the entire game. You got the pick at the end of the game that he clearly dropped. He always jumping and hitting the ground. Stay on your feet. Be an athlete. Be an athlete. You always on the damn ground.
Yeah.
Always. On both of the picks, you on the ground. Nobody around you. Navy game, you whiffing through tackles, laying on the ground. Why are you on the ground so damn much? But those two plays, the one to take the game away, and then the one in the red zone. Listen, that's why you there. That's why you at Notre Dame. You ain't at Tulsa. You ain't at no Miami. You are at Notre Dame because those two plays is where you got to make it count. Because like Shaun said, all these other games on the schedule don't even matter. It don't matter. Because nothing would be more impressive than winning.
None of those games changed the narrative.
None of them.
None of them.
None of them. And that's the sad part. We can beat Duke by 500 points. Doesn't do us the justice. Not to the perspective of college football world. The teams that matter. The teams that's going to be in the end in the playoffs. And a great point by you, Shaun. Like you said, we beat a Clemson and a USC ranked before. We beat them already. Sam Darnold, we smacked him up a good one. DJ Unangagale smacked him up a good one. We beat a ranked team before in Clemson and USC. That's nothing special. And beating them didn't change the narrative, did. When we beat Clemson last year and we blew them out, it wasn't no narrative change. It wasn't a narrative change. But this was the narrative that we needed to establish in the trajectory of Marcus Freeman's tenure at Notre Dame, and that was to win against not only your alma mater, but a pillar in college football playoffs, a team that's been hot for a long time, and we haven't beat them. And we had them on the road. It's probably the best we've ever played Ohio State, and probably, I don't know when we'll ever see them again, was last night. Couldn't have called it. Well, he definitely could have called it better. But for us to be this close, dog, it's just no excuse. So because of the weight and magnitude of what that game meant, it makes this season a lot more bleak than what it should be. The only way to revive it is if we see Ohio State in the playoffs. And we beat them in the playoffs. Other than that, we don't want no smoke with those guys. And then you get Ryan Day, the coach born on third base, talking crazy, disrespecting Lou Holtz. But Lou was right. Lou was right. You got lucky that day. That don't make what he said not true. But it just lets you know when you throw a brick in a crowd of dogs, the one that's hollering is the one that got hit. And when Lou threw that brick, All the things Ryan Day could have talked about after that game, he looking for Lou. You know why he looking for Lou? Because Lou hit him exactly where he needed to be hit, in the heart. And it spoke a lot to him because at the end of the day, you'll never get over that, being born on third base.
He coached a soft game last night.
Terrible.
They were soft last night.
Without that 61-yard run for Travion Henderson for a touchdown, what is Ohio State doing? And that came after a fourth down stop by them.
Great play by JD Tay out there, by the way. It was good to have him back. Great to have JD Tay out
Runs
back.
inside, doesn't flank on the outside, and the dude runs untouched. Everybody was looking on that tape right there. It was like, JD, where are you going? You don't see this man bouncing outside with zero contain and you run inside? Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. Not getting any pressure on Kyle all night. All night. Kyle McCord looking like Jake Delhomme back there. Looking like Jake Delhomme, just wheeling and dealing. All the time in the world. How many times are you going to blitz the middle linebacker to run straight into the guard and get no penetration? How many easy slants did Kyle McCord or Kyle Delhomme throw after we kept blitzing linebackers out of position? How many seam balls did we get sliced and diced with by Kyle Delhomme because we so headstrong in trying to run in there in the middle and get no pressure on Kyle McCord? I don't understand. Because minor things that we did gave us the biggest impact. We've been running man all game. Ben Morrison's been taking the best matchup in the country all game. And the last drive, we go to some crazy zone. Lord Jesus. And what's even crazier is that what did Ohio State do? They threw slants, they tried to run the football, and they threw the vertical seam in the slot versus J.D. Bertrand and Thomas Harper. Ate them up. Marvin Harrison Jr., we played him the best that anybody, I think, is going to play him this year. Anybody. I don't think there's one team on Ohio State's schedule moving forward that's going to have a better matchup for Marvin Harrison than what we did last night. If you went into the game and was like, yeah, Marvin Harrison going to have under 100, maybe like 5 catches for about 60-something yards, you'd be like, wait a minute, we're supposed to smoke him. We're supposed to smoke Ohio State. Your best player, the one they said is like Randy Moss, wasn't a factor. I didn't think he was a factor, Shaun. Did you think he was a factor?
Come on, y'all.
Come on, man. Ben Morrison did a hell of a job. Cam Hart did a hell of a job.
Ben Morrison had help the entire first half. Like, come on. He made plays.
But he's the number one receiver / player.
And Harrison wasn't 100%.
And that was still the advantage that we needed to take. We let Travion Henderson score a 61-yard untouched touchdown? We blowing field goals? We scoring 0 at half when we got a 12,000-yard passer? I don't get it. We spent all year. I don't understand why you mentioned Shaun. It's Jared Parker holding back. Is he just running the base stuff for the first 3 games because he's holding something back for Ohio State? Oh, he was holding back. He held back a lot, a ton. I felt like he thought he had the other 10 from last year under center and didn't give him the green light like he should have. It should have been a Sam Hartman light up show, especially how they played us in the first half. They were begging. They said, please throw it over our heads, bro. We got everybody in the box, one-on-one on the outside. Please, bro.
First of
Selling
all,
out on the run. What happened
first,
to the dump off tight end stuff that we were doing versus North Carolina State?
first
I
of
didn't see
all,
not one of those.
you're right. You're right. You're
So
right.
I don't think Jared Parker was holding anything back. I think he got a little nervous. I think he got a little worrisome about the unknown. Call the damn game how you call the game regularly. Taking shots. It shouldn't be a stat that we had 0 attempts past 20 yards in the first half. 0. How many hitches and hook routes can you throw?
And if Jaden Thomas on third down runs another hook route
Oh,
without going by the yardage we need,
oh man.
that dude.
It's like, what are y'all doing out there? So, an ultra conservative, totally 180 version of our offense we saw yesterday. It was unlike anything I've ever seen because, usually us scoring 14 points is pretty much on brand. It's standard. But when you're averaging 47, it's not standard anymore. It's not expected anymore. You're scoring 47 a game? And you go donut in the first half? Who are we playing? The Baltimore 2000 Ravens? We acted like it. You could have swore Ohio State was playing with 12 men on defense in the first half because we couldn't find something down the field. We couldn't find a score. Outside of the refs stealing little calls from us, like the Sam Hartman first down they took back. You review a play and switch the penalty. I have never seen that before. You can't reverse a penalty call when you're reviewing a whole different issue. We said this game was going to come down to Sam making the right throws at the right moments.
I think that was a catch. Me personally,
What?
they took that reception away from Harrison Jr. I thought it was
Yeah, it was definitely a catch because his foot was down, so I don't know what they were looking at. He had 2 hands on the football, his foot hit down, and then everything else is whatever. I mean, but he was whatever. Good job, Ben Morrison, making it difficult. Right? I mean, you made it difficult. It would have been an amazing play, but I didn't know you can get a holding and a pass interference call in the same play.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I thought you had to choose. They said, you know what? You get both of them. We're gonna cancel the first one, but give them this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, we probably had some Big Ten refs in the building. But the other mistakes we had was just too egregious, Shaun. We were just making way too many uncharacteristic. You talk about uncharacteristic identity. I was really hyped throughout the week saying, oh, we know who we are. Oh, we know who we are. Ohio State don't know who they are because they got a quarterback, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what that team was in the first half. Mitchell Evans had a concussion. He catching all the footballs. How? How is that the matchup? We throwing the ball to him like he Michael Mayer. First half is where we lost the game. Absolutely. How many times you gonna run in the middle with 11 people in the box? Where is the checks? You got these hella high water run plays double tight end set, obvious run looks, and we run in the one and the two hole. The one hole and the two hole, the closest to the center, we're running right up that gut. When did we become Navy?
I look, I understand. Marvin Harrison was a factor. You know why? Because it left a Buka one on one all night. That's a factor. That's why he was a factor. Because Notre Dame had to double team him, and when they didn't, Benjamin Morrison did a good job of playing one on one. But if you know football, to sit up here and say he wasn't a factor, oh, he was a factor because he was on Notre Dame's mind every play. Every play.
Finishing a game is something that it's been so long since we won a big one. I don't think the guys know how to win, how
Mm,
to seal the game. I really don't believe they know how. Because those plays that you had 10 plays in under 2 minutes for that
man.
last drive. How the hell does that happen? Matter of fact, it was a minute and 34 seconds left, and you get 10 plays, two timeouts, a fourth down conversion, a third down conversion, third and long. That's just unacceptable. I mean, that just cannot happen.
Somebody asked me on Twitter, even though we lost, does it feel different? No, no. Why? Because it's swaggier. Because Coach Freeman has swag. It feels different. No, it's the same old story, bro. And look. I'm gonna say this, love. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna open this door.
That's right.
Okay. What happened at the end of the game with the 10 players on the field defensively? That's a steal shot of the ref before the last play because they took Travion Henderson out and substituted, holding up the start of the play, giving Notre Dame an opportunity to substitute,
Because Ohio State substituted, so you
and
gotta
they
you gotta
didn't.
hold.
For Marcus Freeman or anybody on that sideline not to recognize what was going on and then to come to the press conference and give that lame excuse that you gave, left, I'm gonna kick the door down. Forget it. I started not to, but this is Lucky Podcast.
That's right.
My brother, your leash is not as long as you think.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't long before.
And I was listening to fans walking down the street last night. Notre Dame fans leaving that stadium were not happy with you.
No
So all the love that you've been getting,
adulation,
they will switch up on you real fast.
and that was
Doing
a slip
stuff,
up time.
doing stuff like that,
Yeah,
and making silly comments like that in the post game.
comments were even worse than the action on the field.
Because they were
Worse.
saying stuff on the streets. I heard them. What the hell was that, Marcus Freeman? That was what they were saying.
Common theme, and it's truly upsetting because you can't defend it. It's one thing, okay, you know, XYZ happened, they just beat us, whatever. What happened in that game was indefensible. I can't give you an answer for why it looked like that, felt like that, why we did that. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't get it. And because of that, yeah, your leash was short from the beginning because, we know what's up. But also the fact that there's not a lot of room to make these kind of egregious penalties and mistakes for where we are as a program.
No, you're stacking some pretty fireable offenses.
Yeah, because we didn't forget about
Marshall is
last year.
bad. Stanford is bad. Last night, very bad.
Very bad.
Very bad.
We could have forgave the last two losses with this one. Hell, Oklahoma State counts too, unfortunately. Unfortunately, Oklahoma State counts too. And you followed Oklahoma State up with a Marshall, with a Stanford. And now this Ohio State. I get it, it's tough.
We lost them. It is what it is, man. I don't feel any different. I don't feel any better. I don't. And this is me personally. There is no game left on this schedule that's changing the narrative. They go 11-1, have a chance to get in the playoffs, and and like, ooh, let's go blow out Duke. They're better than Duke. What are we talking about?
Yeah, better than Duke.
No, a USC win doesn't do anything for me.
No.
We've beaten USC before as a top team. What? We've done that.
Couple times.
Brian Kelly did that. What are we talking about? So what? That's not impressive.
No.
Did you watch Clemson yesterday with Cade Klubnik? That's not an impressive win.
Trash. Hot garbage. And why it's not impressive is because this was the game of games for us this season. We built up the recruiting. We built up the staff. We got the quarterback. We got the defense semi sorted together. And you go out there and don't utilize what you've been putting in the work for is a freaking shame. There's no reason, which I'm talking about, why Kyle McCord outplays a 12,000-yard passer. It doesn't make sense. And half of that is on Jared. Half of that is on Sam Hartman. There was a seam ball, remember we watched it, where he took his sack. He didn't trust the throw. He didn't make the throw. And I think because we felt like we shouldn't have won that game, even after that last touchdown, that's why we gave up the game. We couldn't believe we were up. We couldn't believe that we actually had a chance to do it. We scored that touchdown, and everybody was like, oh, we still playing? Yes. Finish the game. So what happened? We score, and we get the ball back. Defense does their job, and we just went flat. Went flat. That touchdown to Rico Flores, we thought we had it sealed up. Those situations when we get the ball back after our defense does a great job of stopping them, bro, close the game out. We got Aldrich Estime. We got 3 other running backs. We got a quarterback that can do everything you need him to do. And we can't close 3 minutes out of the game. That tells me a lot of fear was involved and a lot of non-big time players got exposed for not being big time players. We seen why Sam Hartman's not a tier 1. Sam Hartman's good, but tier 1s, they're finishing that game. It's just what it is. But Bryce Young, what'd he do versus Texas? It got tight. He said, you know what? It's time to make a play. Dude came off the edge. He boop. Ran for the first down. Game over. My problem is that the psychological factor and the strategy going into games is not right, not where it should be. We were supposed to go into this game as the aggressor. We were supposed to go into this game as the better team and act like the better team. At no point did I feel like we acted like we were the better team, even after we scored to go up. Because I don't believe that they felt like the game was over. They're like, oh no, we may have scored, but they can. The mentality's wrong, and it's sad, man. I think this loss set us as a fan base back a couple years. Because what are we hoping and wishing for moving forward? Because in big games now, I got to question if we can even situationally get through it. I got to halfway agree with what half of Paul Feinbaum's out there in the college football perspective. We're jokes when it comes to the big game because we beat ourselves almost every time. Or we go in there and play ultra super conservative. Unlike any, you can't watch that tape you saw last night and compare it to the 3 games we played before that. You're gonna be like, this is a totally different team. A totally different team. And so because of that, it just makes it so frustrating as a supporter, as a fan, as a former alumni, to give a good synopsis of why we can win. Because everything that we talked about was true. Yes, we have a better running game. Yes, we have a better O line. Yes, we have the better quarterback. Yes, finally our receivers are coming alive. Yes, we're playing better in the secondary, so we have an answer for Marvin Harrison Jr. Yes, we got more experienced linebackers that are going to, do the things that they're supposed to improve on. We checked the box on all things needed to win that game. So what is the reason now? And that's the issue we have. And that's the issue we have.
I saw somebody in the chat said they let OSU control the tempo. What? Notre Dame had the ball 35 minutes on the night. Notre Dame controlled. Notre Dame outplayed Ohio State last night. That's why the coaching staff owes these kids an apology.
Absolutely. They let Ryan Third Base Day get off the hook. And Ryan Day knew it. That's why he didn't have a good post game speech. He was prepared to
Yo,
talk about how he lost.
those all those Blake Fisher, all those Blake Fisher inconsistent, move him to guard fans. What do you think about him now? What do you think about how was his game last night?
Yeah,
Although
no.
Blake Fisher so inconsistent. Blake Fisher needs to be moved to guard. How did he do against JT last night?
Locking up.
I told you, bro. There's our guy Mello. That Mello is like the only Ohio State fan I can.
Yeah. I can
That's
I
why,
can rock with.
yeah,
I can
I
rock
can
with
rock
Melo,
with him.
man.
People like this play offensive, bro. We told you 2 weeks ago. Tyreek Williams is going to make plays. Mike Hall Jr. is going to make plays.
Yeah. And they did in the run game at times. Mike Hall had a swim move on our guard and got in the backfield, but I didn't like the fact that we were acting as if running was going to win us the game. We was really thinking that, we run the ball like last year, we'll win. I really think Jared Parker looked at last year's film and pulled all the tape from it with the wrinkle of the two back, which I liked it. A double misdirection handoff. I mean, we did some fancy schmancy run game stuff for sure. But at the end of the day, we needed Sam Hartman to throw the football to win, and it wasn't enough. And we didn't even attempt it in the first half. We act like we had Tyler Buckner back there first half.
At the end of the day, if I told you that Notre Dame was going to rush for 176 yards, average 5 yards a carry against this front line with the safeties 8 yards from the darn line of scrimmage.
Yeah, safeties were hybrid linebackers in this game. Hybrid linebackers. They were
I told you,
in the
dude, Notre
box.
Dame fans are so spoiled by offensive line play. They don't know how to appreciate offensive line play.
That's right.
See, they can't appreciate competition and a good play on the other side. Oh, he's going to win some reps. Like Notre Dame offensive line has to win every rep, or either they're just horrible or they're getting worked over. Oh my God. How dare you lose a rep to a first round NFL talent? How dare you?
How dare you?
It's crazy. Spoiled. Just spoiled.
Just spoiled.
So yeah, no one on the defensive staff recognized that there were 10 men on the field.
Nobody.
And then when they did, the head coach of Notre Dame said he didn't want to get a penalty. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's pretty straightforward to me.
Left, you want to go to the third and 19, bro?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, man. 3rd and 19. This is what I'm talking about. Not knowing how to win. You've been running man all game. Hell, 2-man all game. Ohio State didn't run no crazy plays. They ran 4 verticals. And what was killing us all game? We had one in the beginning of the drive, 3rd down, where we had to call a timeout because nobody's covering Marvin Harrison Jr. You got a safety way in the back, nobody covering the slot, and they just catch it and throw it to Ibuka like it was nothing. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So I don't know if it's. I honestly can't tell you what it is. But
I
3rd
know
and
what it is. I know what it is. Situational football.
that's it.
Poor coaching. Poor coaching. Even if you play zone, the first down is at the 3-yard line.
At the 3.
The safety shouldn't be in the end zone. How are your safeties in the end zone coming up?
19 yards to go.
Stand at the first down marker. Tackle them in front of the first down marker. They have no timeouts. The clock will run out.
We tackle them on the 1. How hard is that? If the 3 is the line for the first down, and you only have 3 yards to get it down to stop the clock, but also to get a first down, how is it that your safety is coming from deep in the end zone and tackles them on the 1? I mean, the attention to detail on how hard it is to win is so marginally crazy. If I was a safety, I at least would have stood above the first down. You got 16 yards behind you, 18 yards behind you. You can cover that. They're not going to throw over your head.
Dude, Mello, you got to stop. You got to stop. Y'all too sensitive. First, Lou Holt. This is why people take clips and act in ignorance. Lou Holtz was asked a question about the game. What did you think Lou Holtz was going to pick Ohio State?
Yeah, I don't understand
What
what
kind
you
of
thought
dumb
he was going
stuff
to
is that?
say.
Y'all mad because he picked Notre Dame? He didn't call Ohio State soft. He spoke the truth.
Yeah.
He said the last 5 teams to beat a Ryan Day led Ohio State team were physical with them and were physical teams. I expect Notre Dame to do the same thing.
And we did.
Where's the lie? Until Notre Dame gave the game away, Ryan Day coached a terrible game last night. Ohio State fans were all over Twitter ripping him. Ripping him.
That's right.
Just because they won the game, don't act like Ryan Day all of a sudden is absolved of being a mid-tier coach. Don't act like Jim Harbaugh isn't right. He was born on third base. He's not Urban Meyer.
He definitely not Urban.
Get the heck out of here with that crap. Y'all mad because Lou Holtz picked Notre Dame and told the truth about how teams have beat Ohio State. It's a fact. Michigan lined up and smacked y'all in the face.
Yeah.
2 years in a row. That's how you beat a Ryan Day team because Ryan Day coaches soft.
Every time.
He coaches soft. He coached soft last night. 4.5 yard.
You run a jet sweep.
That's soft.
That's soft.
What are we talking about? That's soft. That's
Hell,
who he is.
He threw the ball on the last play of the game. The play before the last play, he threw the ball.
These dudes up here defending Ryan Day. Like that dude is a mid coach with great talent, dog.
Yeah.
What are y'all talking about? Stop defending that foolishness. Stop.
And that was a soft game.
Y'all mad? You mad because he spoke a fact.
That was a soft game y'all played against Georgia. Y'all didn't run the ball at all against Georgia last year. Y'all were
and when it came time in the fourth quarter to keep a lead, not running the ball hurt. Did it not?
Hurt you.
Because Ryan Day is soft. And he had 350-pound tackles last year, both seniors.
And both
in the NFL now.
Yeah.
And he still refused to run the ball. Soft. He's soft. Y'all want to stick up for that. That dude's a bum.
Straight up. And
you
if
know
he
who else is a bum?
Beat Michigan,
you know who else is a bum? You know who else is a bum? That I went at on Twitter? Maurice Claret.
Oh my God.
His bum self. Talking about I'll run down on Lou Holtz. Man, get your goofy self out of here.
What?
Talking about you a run down on an 86-year-old man.
Lord,
get your goofy tail out of here.
So
goofy, bro. Y'all goofy.
Yeah,
y'all should be embarrassed to have a head coach.
That's soft.
That got that fired up about an 86-year-old coach.
Tell me, I'm looking for him. I wonder where he's at.
What?
At home. What the fuck? He's at home.
He was in the stadium. Go that lets you know. Because the real look, I heard from some sensible Ohio State fans that said, I don't know what that dude was on.
Yeah, what is he talking about?
Like, I actually heard from some sensible Ohio State fans like, yo, Ryan Day coached a horrible game last night, and I have no clue what that dude was on post game. He's lucky. One sensible Ohio State fan said his players saved him last night.
Oh, for sure.
Period.
Look at the play calls. They're running four verticals, inside zone, 4 verticals, inside zone, and a crossing route. It's just the fact when you're born on third base, you get more credit than you deserve. That's why being on third base is trash, because you're taking credit for things you're not doing.
Dude. That's like, the game is the game, but man, wait, stop. sensible Ohio State fans should not be defending Ryan Day like he did something.
Like he
Like,
did something. What did he do?
like what did he do? Bro. Mm, mm.
Mm-mm.
That dude is still Huff as a head coach.
I don't care if he won.
He ain't dude. Ryan Day ain't winning no national championship, bro. He's not. He's not. He's not. He's not a good enough coach. Heck, I question whether or not Marcus Freeman is a good enough coach. I'm gonna keep
Man,
at this point.
man,
I got questions,
man.
big
Cause that,
questions.
cause that the situation of football, man. That's where you get hired to be a head coach. Honestly, because you gotta know when to call a timeout. You gotta know when to challenge. You gotta know whether you want to run or pass or go to half or go for the score, go for two. Close moments like that have the right subs. You supposed to be on the headset. I ain't see you with a headset all game. Where your headset at? It's just bad football that I don't know, man. I'm just really upset at the fact that when it came down to it,
Bro.
we weren't ready to win the game. We were trying to play it as if, oh, we're here. We actually the plan actually worked. How do we get out of here? I didn't feel confident that last drive at all because we kept letting them off the hook, letting them off the hook, dropping picks, letting them off the hook, giving up crazy plays down the field. Like, how do you give up something that big?
What do we say? If you don't get it done this year,
Ain't no getting
it
it
ain't
done.
it ain't happening.
Not at least not under Marcus Freeman.
It ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
And I came away from this game with more questions than anything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Way more questions than anything.
Way more questions, bro. Like, what are we doing? What did I say? We're standing there. We're standing there. Notre Dame goes on a 90, was it a 95-yard drive?
Yep.
And I turned to you because you were upset a little bit. I turned to you and I said, Left, they wearing down.
They weighing down. That's right.
I said, Ohio State is wearing down. On that drive, by the end of that drive, those linebackers wanted no part of
Not
the
not
run
head
game.
up. They
They
trying to
want
jump
to.
on the man back, grab his calves
Austin
and
May was
ankles.
Austin May was dragging cats 2, 3 extra yards.
Lyman pushing the power forward. Nobody was hitting Aldrich directly head on like the
And I
first.
turned to you and I said, if Notre Dame scores, all they need is a stop.
They need two stops. No, it's a stop and two first downs.
That's all I said.
A
That's all they
stop and two
do.
first downs. That's how close we was to winning.
We have a quarterback hiking a ball with 6, 7 seconds on the play clock in that situation. We pick up 2 first downs. Estimate runs for 11 yards. We take him out the game. Take him out the game. Then we come back and try to be smart. We're draining their timeouts. And what do you know? Brilliant idea. Screen pass,
Oh yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
JT almost picks off. And then you got people on social media like, I thought it was a good play call. Really? Really?
Well, how? This is why it's not a good play call. You run predictable two runs right in the middle, and then one you're running the screen to Ohio State's arguably best player on defense, And two, it was such a long developing screen. Me, you, and your mom could have figured that out. And it's a bad play call because if it doesn't work, you one putting the ball in harm's way, and two, you're not taking time off the clock. If you wanted to run the screen, run it on first down. You gave Ohio State essentially another timeout. The screen doesn't go right. He almost picks it, but now they can operate off of a free timeout. We wasted the whole fourth down and didn't flip the field like we should have. So it was just too nerve wracking. Shout out to Ohio State for beating a bad football team. When it comes to situational football, we obviously have not spent enough time talking through scenarios or working through certain things to help us be equipped. But the one thing I was so tired of was seeing Al Golden blitz the middle linebackers through the middle constantly. And all they did was kept throwing slants behind it, throwing slants behind it, throwing slants behind it, bleeding us on defense. So, man, it's hard to really. And with all that being said, Ohio State only scored 17 or 16. They only scored 16. So, man, as much as you want to be happy for the defense gave it up right when they didn't need to. And offensively, for us not to attempt to do the things we did second half and the first half, wearing them down is not going to get you to the points you need to get them to. Because the drive they scored was like 11 plays. 11? It's terrible. It's terrible. 11, and then we were like 0 for, I think it was like 2 for 9 on third down. 2 for 9?
Man, why are we talking about Duke in the chat? And maybe this is just me. Everybody is different. That Duke game does nothing for me.
No, not even close. Not even close.
You're a double-digit better team than Duke. What does that mean?
We don't need Vegas for that.
Nobody, man, please. I don't need Vegas no Duke game. Clemson rushed for 200 yards against Duke. What are we talking about? Beating Duke is not impressive.
Not impressive. It's not ringing. It's not.
It does
ringing
nothing.
alarms.
It does nothing. You have the opportunity to change the narrative about your football program.
For years to come.
And everyone connected to Notre Dame wet the bed. Players, coaches, you brought this quarterback here to win big games.
That's right.
He failed.
He failed. He failed. Point blank period. He didn't get the job done. He failed. And because of that, we're going back and questioning what is the point of Sam Hartman right now. Because the main thing of what you said is none of these wins outside of that are impressive.
At all.
We don't care. We could go the rest of the season with Steve Angeli. Because none of these games are going to impact us.
I'm not going that far. I ain't going that far.
I'm going that far because
I'm not going that far.
Because we're susceptible with this loss to losing again to a team we shouldn't lose to. Psychologically. And I say that because there's no way in the world you can coach situationally that bad in that crucial of a spot to think that we're acting like we're not going to be in other crucial situations. There'll be other tight games in the season. That's just how the season works. But the coaching acumen in situational football opens the door for us to pull some stuff like that again. And it shows. If you was a good coach, not let's say they're not good, but if you was on your P's and Q's, you don't lose the football game that way. Because you're not giving up a third and 19. You don't lose the football game that way. Coming out of a timeout, not having 11 guys running the field. That's Brian Kelly stuff. Calling timeouts, and you just come from a timeout. You call it a timeout.
And that's not the first. They did the same thing against Tennessee State.
Yeah.
10 men on the field defensively. By the way,
just in case you thought this was a once in a lifetime thing. No. We're repeat offenders now. We are repeat offenders. And it's either you coach like that or it's the type of player you are. Or you condone it. You either coach like it or you condone it. So when we aren't making the plays we supposed to, either that's how we coach or we condone that type of behavior.
Robin Dennis asked a question. Now, me and Malik, we had this argument in the car. Who's responsible for the 10-man issue? 10-man issue. Go ahead, Leak. But
You said Marcus Freeman.
you're darn right. It starts with the head coach.
100%, because
That's the head coach.
he got to notice that from a head coach position. Like, wait a minute, is alignment and assignment correct? He the guy that's got to count the guys on the field on the punt team to make sure we got 11.
Especially at the end of the game.
Coach job. That's a head coach job. Defensive coordinator worried about the plays, getting it signaled in, this and that. Head coach job is to handle the incidentals. You know how you put your card down at the hotel to pay for the incidentals? It ain't paying for the room. It's paying for the incident just in case. Just in case you want a little water or something from the refrigerator. Just in case.
Now, before I put blame on Al Golden, the positional coach, because they had a defensive lineman missing, Al Washington is also culpable in that situation.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Because he should be very aware of which grouping is supposed to be on the field in his position.
Exactly, especially coming out of a timeout. You ain't talking to you guys over there, but do I got 5 or do I got 4? What want you to do with 5? All right, get in there.
Hey, look, all that stuff, Marcus Freeman, bringing in more talent, recruiting.
We didn't need any more talent last
He
night.
picked up 2 more commitments yesterday, right? From the Anderson kid, CJ May. Fantastic. If you are a bad coach at the end of football games, what does that mean? Mark Richt. Wait a minute. Let's break it down. Mark Richt recruited just as good. Go look at the history. He recruited just as good as Kirby Smart at Georgia. He was a horrible in-game coach. Horrible.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart comes to Georgia, and Georgia all of a sudden takes the next step. You know why?
Timeout that won a chance. Yeah, man, that man Kirby know what he's doing.
Wait a minute. Let's go back to the semifinal against Ohio State.
Last year, timeout with the
fourth quarter. Ohio State is about to run a fake punt to seal the game. Who called a timeout?
Kirby.
Wasn't an assistant. Kirby looked and said something's not right with the alignment and ran to the official and said timeout. That's head coaching. That's the response. That's why it falls on the head coach. Situational football.
Yeah.
Your head coach failed last night. Twice. No, 3 times. If we count taking Aldrich out, throwing the screen pass, and giving Ohio State an extra timeout. That's that. Yo, the head coach failed last night. He failed. And it's obvious that someone alerted Marcus Freeman because he said he knew he had 10 people.
Yeah,
He
true.
knew. But obviously, I guess the ref standing there with his hand up to give Notre Dame an opportunity to get the 11 man on the field wasn't a clear sign for him to say, oh, run him out there.
Oh, straight up.
He failed as a head coach. You stack Marshall and Stanford at home. On top of that,
It gets light.
that's you're not trending in the right direction.
That's what I'm saying. There's not enough games to get the same hype that you got from Ohio State this week 4. You gonna have some fanfare and attention when you playing Clemson. It's been considered a big game this year, and then you definitely got fanfare when it comes to Old Navy. Not Old Navy. But the crucial part is, with all that being said, you can say that we didn't play exactly well, but where do you find improvements at when it's a coaching situation basis? That's my question. How do you get better in moments like that unless you're in it, right? So,
And no one's thinking about Urban Meyer. But there's no way as a Notre Dame fan you can tell me that you leave this game more confident in Marcus Freeman as a head coach. How?
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 How? And this is objective.
All of
What has
the
he done?
all of the trinkets, recruiting, swag, all of that stuff.
Out the window.
Oh, I mean nothing.
Out the window.
You have a job at the end of big games. You failed. You failed those young men that played their butts off. Facts. It doesn't matter how much I love you. It doesn't matter how much Malik loves you. We've had former Notre Dame players, Paul Grasmanis, on this show that flat out said, I'm still watching them because last year didn't really impress me. Do you think Paul Grasmanis is impressed this morning?
Not this morning.
So what are we talking about, man? I saw somebody in the chat say, man, cue the Denny Green press conference. Yeah, they let Ohio State off the hook.
Yeah.
They had Ohio State right where they need to be, and they let them off the hook.
Like, let him off the hook big time.
And somebody said, what did he say in the press conference that was so bad? Are you kidding me? I think he also said in the press conference, I was disappointed that we weren't able to get as much pressure on the quarterback. But
What he
earlier
did,
in the
offensive
week,
line was trash.
you were defending the fact that sacks not that serious. What?
Yeah.
You're disappointed and not getting pressure, but earlier in the week, we really, sacks. Oh, don't worry about sacks.
Right. And I think at the end of the day, for us, what's going to be important in breaking this down to move forward positively is just to find, going back to what I thought was a huge concern going into the years, that we don't have that one guy. Ohio State was in trouble. They went to that one guy, Ibuka, and he made the play.
Yes,
Nine times out of 10, you're going to take more shots like that than be conventional with the whole drop back game.
yes.
So I think because they won them over in that aspect, for us, we don't have that trait just yet about our offense. So teams play a little lighter on passing on downs, and they play good defense.
Mm, mm, mm.
Mm.
And I saw somebody in the chat say Kirby struggled. Kirby struggled because he had to rebuild the program because Mark Rick
Wasn't
was
recruiting the right
terrible
guy.
the last 3 years and didn't recruit well.
Yeah,
Once Kirby got his recruits, you can never compare
it was
Mark
worse than
Rick
what
and
Dion
Kirby
did.
Smart as in-game coaches. Stop.
Yeah, Kirby Smart's too good.
Stop. And it's a difference between making, bro, stop caping. Call it what it is.
Horrible.
Coaching mistake, fine. Bad call, fine. What we're not gonna do is sit up here and cape for 10 men on the field for the third time this year at the most pivotal part of the game, 2 plays in a row. We're not doing that. We're not fouling that under, oh, that's just a mistake. He got to learn. No, that's bull. That's bull. That's fatal. That's fireable. No one loves that dude more than me. But I'm not absolving that dude.
Right.
We're not doing that. This ain't the podcast. If that's what you want, this ain't the podcast for that. We told you that at the beginning of this show. This ain't it.
It's not it. I don't get it
This
done.
ain't it. I heard the conversations walking down the street, crossing the street on Eddy Street last night. People that were in the stadium wearing green are not happy with that dude this morning. They're not.
They're not, and it shows. And I think it's hard to say that by week 6 we'll figure it out or something. It's too late.
Hey, bro. Hey, man. He missed it. He had one narrative-changing game this year. One. He blew it. Now, go to next year's schedule. Beating USC and Caleb Williams, all right, it's a nice win. It's not changing the narrative. It's
No,
not affecting recruiting in the Midwest. Beating USC is not changing Chicago recruiting.
no.
Ohio State is still going to be the dominant force with Michigan in the Midwest recruiting wise. Fact.
That's supposed to be
Beating Clemson? Man, we've been smacking Clemson over the last 5 years.
smacking them.
And their quarterback is horrible.
Overrated.
What do you get out of beating Clemson right now? What?
We wouldn't even be ranked higher. That's what's crazy.
You're better than Clemson as a team right now. What do you get from that? What? You had a chance. Boy, you talking about a hot seat? You had a chance to put Ryan Day on the hot seat. You had a chance to make an impact with a Chicago kid that you're still recruiting, that you desperately need. You had a chance to change the narrative in Chicago and the Midwest, Detroit, St.
Just to
Louis,
say,
which you already have a foothold in. All of that was right there for the taking last night.
it was right there for sure. All the narrative, all the laughs and the jokes could have been corrected. Ohio State had their excuses ready and laid out on the table to just unfold on us. Oh, we had Cal McCord. Oh, the run game, we should have ran it more. Oh, the
Bro, do you
defense
want
could have.
what middle of the fourth quarter, Notre Dame fans, not Notre Dame fans, Ohio State fans were DMing Malik. I saw the messages.
Oh,
Just copping, please.
oh
Oh
man.
man, good game, man. Good game,
Yeah,
y'all.
good game,
Good.
man.
It's
Yeah,
middle
we,
of
you
fourth quarter.
know.
Good game, y'all, man. I can't believe Brian Day. He sucks.
Yeah, it was really all about how bad Ryan Day did. That was the whole synopsis of the whole tweet firestorm I got was Ryan Day let him down again. But lo and behold, they waited. Most of them did. Ohio State wins the game. Now, oh, we're the greatest team ever. Oh, we should have did y'all worse. Oh, y'all suck, y'all this and that. Hold the L.
That's it.
That's it. But if it wasn't for
I
the
think
last
next
play,
year,
I would
next
feel
year they
better.
open up at next year they open up at Texas A&M. Texas A&M sucks, man. That ain't that's not changing the narrative, bro. You had a game,
Defining, program defining.
program defining game. And as much as we want to talk about Jared Parker, the offense, how it sucked, that's all, man. DJ Brown, JD Teal,
We didn't see too many young linebackers in there.
all of that. Jalen Sneed played well last night. You stop that. Jalen Sneed played well last night. All of that being said, the game was right there for the taking. The game was right there for the taking. And the head coach, in his logic, thought it would be better if he allowed his defense to play with one less man the last two plays. How, Sway?
Nice.
How? How? How do you come to that logic? There is no Notre Dame fan today, I hope, that's going to sit here and say, oh, that made sense. I understood what he was saying. How? How? Lucky Lefty podcast. Oh, yeah. By the way, before we get to the grades, I keep telling y'all about number 12. Left. You ain't want to believe, bro. But I keep telling y'all about number 12. He's special. He's
It's
different.
it's the numbers,
He's
man. I'm telling
different.
you. You gotta change it from 12 to
I
something
don't
else.
care what he needs to do. I keep telling y'all that dude that wears 12, he's special.
He is. He's
He's
quick as
special.
he's special. And it was becoming times where it was hard for him, I'm sure, to come out the game, but hell, the fan base wanted to keep him in. It just so happens that running back by committee, they all get a little shine. Darian got in there, made some plays, Aldrich, Jabron. So I don't know how they go by switching running backs, but D McCullough has it figured out right now.
I think his play call, run types, and Dylan McCullough is responsible for getting them back in.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He's special.
He is.
He's just special. I do. You can see it. He moves different.
He run with some energy behind him. Like he trying to get somewhere.
And I'm not mad, man, because Notre Dame had opportunities to put points on the board early.
Oh man, don't get me started. We became so predictable within a 10 that it's like, man, they know you're running. They know it. They know it. They studied it. They're prepared for it. And we had no wrinkles until the end. We threw the Rico Flores and a get great screen and go. But even that was cute. I really, really hope that against my against the next opponent, I don't know, take the under.
Man, look, I have no clue what this spoiled comment is about.
We're not
But
spoiled with we're spoiled with wins that we're supposed to win with. That's like going into the bank with monopoly money. It's like it's not cashing in nothing. So if you get a pit team and we smack them around, nobody's gonna be like, man, that was the game that defined y'all season. That pit game right there, the team y'all was way more talented in that y'all blew out. That's gonna change the tide of the narrative of Notre Dame. It don't happen like that. We scored 47 points for 3 games straight, and then what?
yeah,
And then at the time it mattered most, we couldn't even score first half. Let's not even talk about that. Second half, we put up 14 and left about 17 out there.
yeah. I am going to say this. Either Marcus Freeman needs to self-correct real fast, or he really needs to contemplate his coaching staff.
Oh yeah,
Because he might need a veteran ear
yeah. And I
on
thought
his
James
coaching staff.
Laurinaitis was an impact, but
You
maybe the
thought
old head.
Al Golden might have been that, but Al Golden is mm-mm,
I'll go knit on.
mm-mm. Like people are trying to be like, well, Al Golden, the defense played well. The defense played regardless of what people say. Notre Dame has good players.
I
That's why they played well.
They think we're Northwestern or
They
something. We
think,
got
man,
skills.
like the coaching staff is like working like
Like
magic
working magic.
and
Yeah, like we
creating
creating
illusions.
these two-star athletes into competitive players. No. We got real dudes. We got real dudes that all they need is just a little bit of guidance and coaching.
And left. See this. I know you didn't really like the fact that they were targeting Rico as much as they did last night. Rico had two big third down conversions,
And it
and
gave
the
up
video
time.
was out there on Rico's touchdown. He made the Ohio State defensive back fall. His release was that good. He made the Ohio State defensive back fall. It's all on Twitter. A freshman,
True freshman.
true freshman.
Rip him out the plastic. He acting brand new freshman.
It's like, what are we doing, man?
Jaden Greathouse made a huge couple plays when we were backed up going into score. Freshman. Talent. Mitchell Evans one-handed catching the football. Talent. Our running backs, Jeremiah Love, talent, a litany of talent. For Rico Flores to have an impact on 2 catches, I mean, come on. The
Bruh.
talent is there. But organizing the talent, putting us in good spots, being able to do the things necessary to win the game, these are all the things that coaching can add, right? Coaching can get 11 players on the field those last 2 possessions or last 2 plays and give us a chance, a fighting chance of making a better stop. Coaching in the first half is stressed and pressed on getting Sam Hartman the volume throws he's going to need to win the game. Yeah, you want to run the football, establish the run. But in this situation, what's wrong with letting Sam lead the charge offensively and support it with the run? Ohio State did that, and guess what? They got an efficient 61-yard touchdown. They didn't need to run the ball as much as we did, and they got this. They got more points than we did. They got 2 rushing touchdowns. So yeah, this was a game which I said we have to throw the win, run to keep it balanced. We were running the win, and you can't run. You run the air out the football, and there's not going to be enough points against a credible team. Yeah, you can run the ball out against these sorry teams out here. When you're playing against the Alabama, Georgia, Ohio States of the world, you're going to have to throw the football. And it's just a shame to see once again we do not put ourselves in that position early on and we try to rally towards the end. No, it's not going to help you. You need to be able to be efficient in the beginning and in the middle, which is crazy because we were scoring in the beginning, middle, and the end. We played offense as if we played defense against ourselves first half. Like they must have had Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu back there at safety because we were afraid to throw the ball. And whenever Sam threw it, it was big chunks, and we moved the sticks, and it looked like a flow. It looked like a balance of the offense. It looked like something you could recognize. But until we decide that we want to be the aggressors in these big games, we'll always take this passive aggressive strategy of trying to hope we can win instead of knowing we can win. And that's the difference. We doing all this hoping. Oh, we hope if we run the air out the football, they don't have enough stabs at it. They got a one-play touchdown drive and a 61-yard play by Travion Henderson. So they don't need a bunch of drives, clearly. Hell, they scored in that drive and they scored in the last 2 minutes of the game. They ain't scored nothing else before that.
Left. I could not, bro. It still amazes me that their safeties were 8 yards off the ball,
They were the
bro.
same depth as the linebacker. I'm like, wait a minute, where the safeties at? They got
Damn.
5 linebackers now?
You had the you had the DBs playing off coverage. The safeties were lined up right across from them. And I'm sitting here like, why are we coming in with all of these tight formations
Heavy sets.
with these safeties playing like this?
Because we running in hella high water. And we always ran the ball in heavy sets. It wasn't no play action, take a shot down the field. It wasn't no, it was
Then in the fourth quarter, we get the ball backed up on our old goal line, and Jared Parker first play goes 5 wide. Where's this been? And he hits Great House for a first down. I'm like, where's this been?
where's it been?
Where's it been? Hey man, I'm gonna say this again because obviously y'all in y'all emotions again. I didn't say Notre Dame fans were spoiled when it comes to winning games. Notre Dame fans must say it slow. This is like the third time I've had to say this. Notre Dame fans are slow when it comes to offensive line play, and you nitpick because the offensive line in every big game has to be perfect in order for Notre Dame to win. And if they're not, it's a problem. Forget the fact that they go up against other good players on the other side that actually can make plays. You'll nitpick. Like someone says, Zeke Correll was in Rocco Spindler had Tyreek Williams and Mike Hall Jr. across from him all night. And you're gonna nitpick he was inconsistent. Yes, I bet he was. I bet he won some reps and got his butt kicked on some reps. He was inconsistent. And that unit was inconsistent enough for Ohio State players in the locker room after the game to say, yo, that's the best offensive line I played against. But you know what spoiled Notre Dame fans would do? Oh my God.
We was whooping them all game.
Rocco was inconsistent. Oh, Blake Fisher. Oh, yes, you're spoiled. When it comes, because look around college football. Who else has had the consistency for close to 20 years of offensive line play? Who? And it's not the offensive line's fault going into big games over the last decade that you've been quarterback deficient and skill position deficient. That's not their fault. But you want them to be perfect in battle to give you the best chance to win. Georgia's offensive line doesn't have to be perfect. Heck, Alabama's offensive line doesn't have to be perfect. No other offensive line has that much pressure from a fan base. No one. So, yes, you're spoiled when it comes to offensive line play. Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
You ran for 176 yards, 5 yards a carry against that front seven, with safeties 8 yards off the ball all night.
All night.
And we got complaints, and you're still complaining about the offensive line.
All night, though. That's what's so crazy.
And no sacks, no quarterback sacks last night.
I mean, Kyle McCord was back there taking his sweet time. A bunch of guys making strong efforts to get there, but nobody was hitting home when we needed it. And we knew we didn't have an Isaiah Fauci. We knew we didn't have, a first-round edge rusher. However, the production from that D-line just wasn't good enough. It wasn't. Kyle McCord had way too much time. Way too much time. Even the time we tipped, it was stuff like we tipped the ball. 5 Notre Dame dudes are jumping for it, and the tight end catches it on one knee. I mean, it's crazy. What is it going to take? And I think you had a really good point, Shaun. What is it going to take that next level? I think Marcus Freeman needs to have another person in his ear. Like he needs to have maybe bring back Jim Tressel to see if he would sit on the sideline with him and just kind of discuss certain situations that may be overwhelming at the time. I mean, in the game, stuff happens really fast. So stuff that you see on TV, you like, oh, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? And the game is maybe just a lens difference where you just look at it and be like, that's not what I got to really lock in. I think Marcus Freeman was doing a good job throughout the game, talking to the refs, staying in the ref's ear, doing things to kind of get the ref to pay attention to certain stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to be on that. You got to be on it to where if you on the refs all game, you're supposed to know when the ref is subbing. And you're supposed to have your eyes out there. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be aware at all times of the stuff that nobody else is watching. That's why you the head coach. You can't be paying attention to what the play look like and listening to what the coach is doing over here and what this player is saying over here. You need to be focused on that in between the lines, them refs, them white hats, and the ability to find a way to give your team the advantage where other people aren't looking for. And this is the stuff that I just think it's your second year ever head coaching, ever. So maybe there's some growing pains even with that. I mean, you know, me being an offensive coordinator for the first couple of years, it was a growing pain. Things that I probably wouldn't do normally, but in the heat of the moment, I made some mistakes and all that. But
And the crazy thing is, he wasn't alone.
yeah, he wasn't.
Ryan Day using the timeout to call a jet sweep. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You're a goofy for that.
You're in the goofy tank
Goofy tank.
because at the end of the day, that's the soft stuff we were talking. Marcus Freeman stuck to his values of being a tough physical football team, but this ain't 2000s when you were playing Marcus Freeman, where the quarterbacks were like all like Trent Dilfer, ineffective, a non-threat, where all teams had to do was get 10 points. Football don't work like that. Not anymore, Marcus Freeman. So when the clutch came down to it and it's time to make a play, one, you got to have players to make that play. If DJ Brown can't do it and seal it
Man,
up, your
man.
coaching situation's got to back that up. Now,
But
I know
wait,
that.
the Notre Dame defense missed JD and DJ though. Oh my God, we missed JD and DJ. It was such a difference. Can't wait to get them back.
All right. Just goofy stuff, man. Just goofy stuff. And it hurts because we don't want an overreaction to where we're doing things that's not getting us close to winning. We just trying to find an answer to make it look different. That's one thing I don't want to happen. Where we're revamping the whole starting unit and we trying to find all new ways to try to score points. We know how to score points. We just chose not to do it. Just like our recruiting. We can win a national championship. We just choose not to. We choose not to for whatever reason on Lord and in Jesus' name.
Mhm.
We literally choose not to go win a championship. We got the NIL money. I mean, hell, we was playing sexy red in the stadium, so that means we closer to being like everybody else. Can't believe it. We one step to getting there on the
Hey,
field.
hey, can I say something? I want to kick this door down too, and it might make some people uncomfortable, man. Okay, if you enjoy music, all different types of music, that's fine. I just feel like when you like over a certain age, you shouldn't be in the parking lot saying "ee" or like
Oh,
trying to repeat,
ski.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
"ski" and repeating "sexy red." You're a
Yeah,
goofy. Like stop.
yeah, yeah. That was on that.
Certain things
Let
I
it
had
let
to
it be
take
for
a
the kids, man. Let it be
yeah,
for
I
the
had to take a
kids.
double look. Like okay, all
And they
right,
off beat with his ski.
oh okay, all right, all
All
right,
right. All right.
okay. That's what we're doing.
That that
Okay, this
that
hey, let me look. I understand everybody's upset about DJ Brown. Let's not play this game though. And if DJ Brown, I understand that, but if DJ Brown had held on to the interception, we wouldn't have got to that point. Well, guess what? If Marcus Freeman had done a better job of clock management and not allowed a screen pass, because he hears everything and he has the right to say no, run the ball.
he has the right.
That's what a head coach does. But he said, "Man, we got a quarterback." That's what he said in the press conference, left. We figured we had a quarterback, so we figured it was a good play. No, no, it's not. So if Marcus Freeman had handled that situation better, it would have never got to D.J. Brown because Ohio State would have never got the ball back. And since we want to go there, we can go all the way up back to the off season. And if Marcus Freeman would do a better job of recruiting place kickers
Man, how we miss on how we do everything right but miss
2 years in
the
a
place
row, transfers, and they both stink. Both. So let's not do that game because we can do a whole bunch of if this, if that, if this, if that. Like I understand. I understand. There are mistakes, and then there are stains. That's not just a mistake last night. That's a stain
Stain.
on your resume.
That ain't coming out
A
shit.
stain.
That don't come out
The
of
national media is laughing at this dude. Laughing.
By the
And
way,
then first, to hear it was one thing. To see the steal shot with a full breakdown is another. Then to see Sam Acho say, wait a minute, it wasn't just the last play, it was the last two plays. There's a whole nother one.
oh
Then
another
to
one.
see them substitute, so you have the opportunity to substitute, and the ref is standing there holding his hand up, which gives you an
Basketball
opportunity
shot.
to run somebody on.
Back.
And nobody on the sideline picks up on this. No one. And then you go to the press conference
Mm.
and say what you said.
He needed
If
he needed Jack Swarbrick to write that
okay,
speech that day.
okay,
He needed Jack
let's
Swarbrick to write that
we be
speech,
real?
Chris.
Can we be real for a second left? Because I've never been on the Notre Dame roster. Never left the don't know what the conversation amongst players is like after a tough loss. But I guarantee you, it was some upset Notre Dame players last night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Aldrich was upset. He tweeted. Aldrich tweeted shaking my head. That's a loss that you almost is like, all right, I hear what you're
I
saying.
guarantee. I know if I was a Notre Dame player and I heard what my coach said at the post game, I'd have been like,
What are you doing?
wait a minute. Get them cats half a yard. We can still stop them half a yard. What are you talking about? We just had a fourth and half a yard stop 2 series ago. You thought it was better to leave us short-handed?
Good grief.
Come on, coach. But you know, players have to be politically correct. Man, we got our coaches back. Man, he blew it. He blew it.
Blew it.
He blew it.
I mean, and it's just inexcusable. It's just inexcusable, man. I can't. I don't know.
I don't know what's worse, leaving your defense shorthanded or what he said at the press conference.
Hmm.
Like you literally thought it was a better idea to leave your defense shorthanded with 10 players on the field than to take the penalty
Then to take the
and give them
penalty.
and give them an opportunity with a full 11 players on the field. That was your logic, and you tried to convey that to the fan base.
Nobody's buying what you're selling right there, Marcus Freeman. Nobody's buying that.
I, like I said, there are mistakes, coaching curve, learn from lessons. You do that every game. That right there, on top of the double down at the press conference, and knowing and finding out that you had a legal opportunity to substitute and get 11 people on the field, it's not a good look, man. That's not a good look.
And it sucks because there's not much you can do the rest of the season, Marcus Freeman. In the regular season schedule, there's not much you can do.
And for the man, I've seen people saying, USC win would be huge
No, it
because of
wouldn't.
Caleb Williams. Hey, bruh, Notre Dame fans, be honest. You were confident going into the USC game last year with Drew Pine.
Yeah.
What would a USC win do for you this year? You were confident that Notre Dame could beat Caleb Williams last year.
Last year.
I didn't need to watch that Arizona State game last night to know who USC was.
No.
Sam Hartman should throw for darn near 400 yards against USC. I'm not impressed by that. They don't have a defense. They stink.
They
What are
stink.
you talking about? As a Notre Dame fan, I expect to beat USC. I expect to smash Clemson.
Bad.
This was the game that I didn't know. Hey, I know it's going to be a close game. We'll see. And they failed. They failed. But Arizona State, what did they put up? 28 points last night?
in a solid effort.
Who doesn't? What Notre Dame fan doesn't think Notre Dame is going to score 40 against USC? Who?
Well, not if we go in with that crazy strategy we did last time. I don't know. I don't know, man. It sucks.
They, as I expect, if they beat USC, good win. Good win. They'll be favored by double digits in just about every other game after that.
Yeah.
So running the table means what?
Yeah. Yeah. What does running the table do for us right now? And we had Deuce Knight and Cam Williams in the building, and
Like and
Jay Card.
after the Duke game, don't come on a post game show talking about that's a good win against a good Duke team. They're tough. They're this. Clemson ran for 200 yards against the Duke defense. 200. What do you think the offensive line for Notre Dame should do? What are we talking about?
Yeah, what are we talking about? Jesus.
I'm not impressed with the win off of Duke. I'm not.
At least I can't get excited off of it for sure.
Left. You remember 4 weeks ago when you argued with me and I said, Left, we got to be careful with this Ohio State game and this Duke game because it could be a very emotional Ohio State game. And
Oh
then
yeah,
they
you
have to
were
go play.
absolutely right.
Remember I said that?
Absolutely, you were
Remember I
absolutely right.
said that? I said that Ohio State game could be really emotional.
And that's why I said we're opening ourselves up to losing to a game we really shouldn't lose. Another Marshall performance, for sure. So, Lord Jesus.
I said it. I was like, yo, that Duke game being in between Ohio State USC,
It's just setting up for a crazy storyline. That's all.
if you don't take care of business, it could be an emotional game.
No excuse.
Mm, mm, mm. I like our punter though. Special teams has definitely taken a step back under Coach Biaggi. I like the punter.
Oh, he can't kick him through.
I'm just saying, special teams is taking a step back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're not blocking punts, not getting too many special returns. I can agree with that. I can agree with that, SD.
And hey, honestly, left Marcus Freeman might be that coach that needs the program to be all his guys.
Hey, I understand that. He can't be having halfway in, halfway out guys he didn't bring in. And it makes a difference because we saw what happened last year. It made a difference. He just felt like his hands were tied dealing with Tommy, because technically Tommy was the offensive head coach or whatever that means.
Right.
They got hired at the same time. So Marcus Freeman is like, yo, if I'm doing an overhaul on this program, I need to have hands on everything.
Yes.
Or it's just not going to work. Because now I got to be caught taking blame for stuff I can't really control. And you'd be like, why are you not in control of your team? And I'm like, it's too much going on. So maybe Marcus Freeman is one of those. I mean, hell, Coach Kelly became one of those guys. Brought everybody in himself that he knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he got close. And he also almost got fired because of it. so, so I mean, he took the best of both worlds. He had the greatest success, almost a championship, and he almost got fired in the same sense. So crazy.
And I see, you know why I don't worry about this team mentally being ready?
Yeah.
I don't worry about this team being ready. See, that's the strength of Marcus Freeman that he showed in his first year. Marcus Freeman can get the team ready. Marcus Marcus Freeman can prepare a team going into a game. That's his strength.
Yeah, going into a
Coming
game.
off different emotions, ups, downs. Marcus Freeman can do that. We don't do. That's Brian Kelly that couldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian Kelly couldn't get you to play big in a big game.
No, no.
No. No. And
Marcus Freeman, that's his strength. That's one of
that's
his
his
strengths.
strength. You you'll
Absolutely.
you'll you'll be like, man, I can okay, I'm ready to go. He ain't convinced me, he ain't talked me into it, I'm ready to go. That's his strength. You're absolutely right.
Now I don't know what it is. I don't know if booty holes get tight once the game starts, but like in-game decisions, clock management, those types of things. Hey, leaves a little bit to be desired up until this point.
Yeah, just a little, huh?
Like I remember the Stanford game. Stanford coach was laughing, chuckling because he
Oh
knew
man,
he
on
had
his way out.
because he knew he had just out
He
coached
said,
him.
I can't believe this brother to let me slide one out for on the way out. Couldn't believe it. And he knows that he got away with one because of the fact that he knew his team wasn't better. You saw how the Stanford offense was playing. They was playing like we played yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. That slow mesh and they played like how we played yesterday, except we gave it to them then. We didn't learn from that. We took their strategy and lost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just ridiculous, man. Honestly, it's ridiculous because you want to see Marcus Freeman do well. You know, you believe in what he's preaching and talking about, but the thing about football is all that is sounds good. But if you're losing, it don't hit the same. What they say in Chicago, it hit different.
Mm-hmm.
All that rah rah, we're gonna go and take them down and beat them up. And them guys gonna be like, yeah, all right. Especially if you going in the press conferences saying, yeah, I thought 10 versus 11 was a good idea. I didn't want to get a penalty or anything. See, that's where the player got to be like, take the encroachment penalty. You know it ain't 11 dudes out there. Just jump across sides just to get the flag. What's they gonna do? Move it an inch closer? That's where JD Bertrand slash Te'o and his veteran leadership that we were missing and lacking so much in the previous game. That's where he can make a heady play. Show us why you a vet, man. Go in there and get an encroachment penalty and be like, hey, we need another guy.
Yeah.
That's where you talk about missing. DJ Brown noticed he count because he's the safety, so he's counting everybody in front of him. Oh, it's 10. Let me just get the penalty because we not paying attention. That's when you say, man, we missing JD, Te'o, and DJ Brown. That's when you say that. But the lack of awareness from the team to not be like, wait a minute, this don't seem right. We missing a huge DN on the 1 inch yard line, and they about to call the game. They about to call the snap. Where we at? So it's a total team effort, man. I think everybody is culpable in some aspect. Marcus Freeman obviously takes the biggest lion's share of the blame because this was the game that he built up to be a program changing game. It'd be different if Marcus Freeman wasn't taking all these steps leading to this game. taking all these steps and being in competition with other schools for Justin Scott, being in competition with being in the top five of recruiting, flying all over the country, getting these players, finding the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator that you need, readjusting the staff, readjusting everything, being the face of the program, talking good, smelling good, sounding good, dressing good in the media. All of that led to the confidence of this game being the program changing win that we needed. You can't have too many games you build up like this and lose the way you lose because it's you are quicker on your way out than on your way in. All them smiles and hurrahs and all that is gonna fade really, really fast. I'm telling you, because losing is does crazy things to you, man. And so I feel for the brother. I think that being aggressive on what you see needs changing and getting on it ASAP is your best bet. But running the table is almost expected of you, where there's not much you can do to change it, but you got to be able to do what we all expect you to do, and that's win these football games. Sam Hartman is still in position to win 2 of the 3, but man, we gotta. I hope this lights a fire under us. I hope it excites us moving forward. But being open to losing to another team that we shouldn't lose to is definitely possible. But it's a shame, man. It's a loss that takes us back a couple years, I think. And just, man, hate to see us lose like that. That's for sure. See, NC Notre Dame fan. Malik, if you were on the team, what would you say as a captain after a loss like this? Because Duke's going to be ready on Saturday with game day coming to Durham. If I was a captain on this team, I probably wouldn't talk to the team till tomorrow. I'd be like, hey, let's get the hell up out of here, y'all boys. Ain't nothing to say because I might say the wrong thing. Get some rest. We talk about it later. And then the next day, I say it's 24-hour rule. If we dwell on it, it's going to affect us this week. But we all need to take ownership and accountability for watching what we need to do better. And, you know, you got to be able to make plays when it's time to make plays. And I'll be like, DJ Brown, we love you. But when your number's called, man, it's just the expectation. We can't even do the whole almost close no more. We've been almost and close for years. So it's one of those things, man, where you're more frustrated at the way y'all couldn't finish than it is, oh, we just lost this game. And usually it leads to deeper issues down the line if it isn't addressed. You know what I'm saying? Like finger pointing's happening, question of the coaches is going on. Because it was such an egregious, blatant misstep.
Left,
People are gonna forget that, man. They're not gonna forget.
left, left. I appreciate you saying that to the team and getting their minds right. Wasn't North Carolina State ready for us?
Yeah.
The heck we talking about Duke is gonna be ready. Ain't Notre Dame about to walk in there and beat the crap out of Duke.
Yeah, we ain't
What are
playing
we
basketball.
talking about, man? Stop hyping these dudes up, man. North Carolina State is a better defense, man. Clemson ran for 200 yards. If
And
Notre
threw
Dame
for 200.
if Notre Dame shows up, they're going to dog walk Duke.
Yeah. Duke don't got enough depth.
Regardless, it might be a tough first half. Notre Dame is going to dog walk Duke. And nobody should be impressed by it. That's what you do. What we've been saying all year. Treating Tennessee State like they should be treated. Treating Navy like they should be treated. Show us that you're elevated as a program. Do things that show us that the program is different. Coming off this game and treating Duke like they should be treated does nothing but confirm, okay, things are better. That's it. That's all it does. Doesn't change any narrative about the program. Okay, Marcus Freeman has changed the mindset.
Damn.
Duke is not about Duke. They're not good enough for it to be about them. The Duke game is about Notre Dame.
That's right.
If Notre Dame shows up and plays, if Notre Dame plays B-level football next Saturday, they will smash Duke. Like, what are we talking about, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, what is this like? Would this be the 30th straight win against an ACC team?
You said the what win?
I think the streak is will be at 30 straight against the ACC. If I'm not, maybe it's in the 20s for sure. Maybe it's like 28, 29.
I'm not worried about no damn Duke. I'm gonna just keep it real.
Hey, bro, look.
Duke worried about us. That's how I feel about it.
This dude just said I'm underestimating Duke. I haven't watched them. I watched Clemson run for 200 yards against Duke on the ground and turn the ball over 3 times in the red zone. What are you talking about? Maybe you need to go watch Duke's defense. I've watched Duke. Please tell me what's so impressive about Duke. They gave up 200 yards on the ground against Clemson. The only good team they played. Once again, they gave up 200 yards on the ground. And you're worried about Duke's defense? Please.
Please, right?
The heck out of here. Clemson gave in the game. And all of a sudden, we're supposed to be scared of Duke. Don't tell me that I haven't watched them play. Did you watch them play against Clemson? Because obviously you watched something. I don't know what you watched.
They watched the media hype. They watched the media hype and like, oh yeah, that's it. Duke's it. Duke's got the chance to upset us, man. I'm telling you.
So once again, either you're comparing Notre Dame to Clemson, which is dumb, or you have no sense when you look at Notre Dame has rushed for 176 against Ohio State's front seven and 197 against North Carolina State's front seven, which are both better than Duke's front seven. And you think the Duke front seven defensively is about to be a problem? Man, come on, man.
We're not
What
Duke.
what are we talking about?
We're not Duke.
And we also just said that one of the strengths of Marcus Freeman is that no matter what happens emotionally, he gets his team prepared to play. So what's your point? You go ahead and be scared of Duke. Waste your time this week. Waste your emotions. I'm not wasting my emotions with Duke football. I'm not.
Duke football.
Sitting up here thinking about Duke football. Get the heck
Yeah.
out of here.
You're definitely in trouble, man. That's for sure.
Bruh, did you just compare Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M to App State? I mean to Notre Dame? Man, stop. Like, y'all gotta stop. You talking about the team allowing this to turn into another loss? Boy, this fan base, boy. Good gracious. We're really worried about Duke right now? Dude. Whoosh.
I'm telling you, that
Left.
loss is demoralizing, man. That loss is demoralizing.
What's your grade for the quarterback, man? So we can get out of here, dude. This
Non-applicable. He just left me wanting too much more, man. Honestly, I don't know if that's his fault, the callers, but 0 points in the first half. When you're a fifth year, and you're a fifth year, 6 year guy, just unacceptable.
mm,
Fifth year, 6 year guy, we depending on you for this specifically depending on you for this, and you go out there and lay an egg in the first half. Got to give you a C, damn near a C minus. No, I'll do a C just because you played well enough to give us the lead, to put the ball in the defensive hands to win the game. But that first half performance was just too overwhelming for me. So I'll give you a C, Sam.
running backs.
Running backs, I give a B plus. I can't give A because we lost, but running backs give a B plus because without them, I mean, hell, what was we doing then? And we did
Yeah.
effectively wear on them to the point where they didn't want to tackle us. We dragging them, and then when we got into the end zone, I mean, that was just some hard running, man. Aldrich, shout out Aldrich, Jeremiah, love those running backs. Did their job. They did their job. So I give them a B plus.
Offensive line.
I give them a B plus.
Mm.
I love the fact that okay, they was a good, tough battle. You lost some, but if we were to, for whatever reason, get the ball back, I think our offensive line would have gave us a chance to get something down the field to win. But it goes back to is it the play calling or what it was that didn't allow us to score in the first half? I'm just not going to blame the offensive line because I thought that we did a lot of good things in the first half where, yeah, we may not have scored, but we went to the red zone. We wasn't behind the chains a lot. It was a lot of short distance stuff. It wasn't like they had us in third and forever. So the offensive line has a lot of credit because I do believe that they may have lost some, but we won majority of our battles up front.
Hmm. I'll save the coordinator. Let's go to the other side. Defensive line.
Ineffective. I give them a non-compete. They didn't do anything that affected the game like it should have. I thought it was very neutral of a. I just thought it was very neutral of an effort. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't good either. It was just kind of there. Didn't really, you know, love to see it,
Uh-huh.
but we don't have the impact X factor at D line right now. So a lot of that is like I should have known. It's just tough, man. I give them a non compete. They didn't affect the game like they should have, or they didn't even look like they were there some of the game in the crucial moments. So that's what I'm going with.
Let's go to the secondary. Cam and Benji played well.
Cam and Benji played well, but man, they was picking on our guys in the slot.
Man, wait a minute. Who said? Wait a minute. Going back to the Navy game. Who said teams are picking on our nickel?
Oh man.
Going back to the Navy, I was like, Navy literally was picking on our nickelbacks. I said that with Navy.
Yeah, you did. You did. They was picking on us, and whenever Ohio State needed a play, they went straight over there to run and go routes on our slot players, and we saw where the talent was at. We didn't have the talent. They obviously had a top 10 receiver, which is granted, and that's where matchups makes fights, and we did not match up well in that slot on downs that we needed to convert. They made a couple good plays. We made a couple good plays, but the plays they made put them in good position. I mean, J.D. Bertrand's pass interference was just so egregious, but he had to because he was getting beat. He had to have a crazy pass interference because Travion Henderson embarrassed him on that. And that's credit to Ohio State because teams did that last year. Get J.D. Bertrand, Te'o out the box, and run a go route. Football 101.
Oh boy. The linebackers, bro.
I'll be fair. I'll give him a C. I'll give him a C.
Mm.
I'll give him a C.
This should be fun. Offensive coordinator Jared Parker.
What the hell? If that's a grade, what the hell is the grade? Cause what the hell, Jared Parker? At first, you was cooking so much, we thought you had some recipes stashed in Grandma's cookbook.
Mm.
You was on fire. But you can't go from averaging 47 to having zero in the first half. We didn't hire you for that. I like how second half you opened it up a little bit more and we was able to put ourselves in positions to win. So I can't dog you totally, Jared Parker. I can't. Because when we last left the field, we were winning the game. So I got to give you a B, but I would have liked for you to do what you did second half, first half, and it wouldn't have been close. Because
Yeah.
technically, no matter what, we left the field on offense the last time winning the game. So, that means a lot, and I'll give you a B for that.
Defensive coordinator Al Golden.
A D because you just
Dang, you gave him a D?
D, man. For damn. A D for damn. Too many mistakes in that last drive. It's just a D for damn because I don't know what
Oh
the hell.
man.
I don't know what the hell that was in the last when it counted. I just don't know. I just don't know.
Just ironic at the most crucial time in the 2022 matchup, he goes double safety fire from 20 yards away. And in the most crucial time in this matchup, he goes zone with the safeties in the end zone. Oh man, it. Mm, mm, mm. We don't give a grade out to the head coach normally,
Man said normally.
but here's a question for you, Left. For Al Golden. If they won 14-10, what would have been your grade for Al Golden, Left?
See, that's funny you say that. That's funny you say that because
And
the
I can I
grade.
can I tell people what I was saying next to you?
That's so funny you say that, man. Because
The whole time when Ohio State got the ball back, I kept telling Left, Al Golden's about to do something dumb.
yeah,
I was just waiting on it.
yeah, like
I was
you
like,
just knew it was coming at some
Al
point.
Golden's about to do something dumb. Here it comes. I was waiting for it, Left. I
But you
knew it was
know,
about to be part of the story.
but that's how fast it can change, though. Seriously, that's how fast it can change from an A to a F because it was all good just a week ago.
Man,
And right when you didn't need it, you sank, you tanked. It's like when you take a test, multiple choice, you killing it. But it's only 20% of the grade. You get to that written portion and you bomb it, that's 50% of the grade.
facts.
Crazy.
I mean, the D is tough. That D is tough. That D is tough. Um,
But you have to, for the program change and potential victory, we have to be hard graders. We have to be.
mhm.
And you was riding on a nice solid B, B minus, but you tank quick, man. Your written portion, you didn't provide enough thesis, you didn't write no complete paragraphs. Multiple choice, you killed it. That's why you got the 20, put your name on there, that's 5%. Right there. But when it came down to the 50, nah, man,
Mhm.
not acceptable. It's just not. So, man,
Man, these fans are laughable. That's sitting up here worried about Duke.
if we worried about Duke, we've already lost the season, dog.
Marvin Bell says he's gonna have to make an appointment. Rob M, thanks for listening, man. At some point, players have to make plays too. There is no way to play design when Morrison blitz was to have no one field to cover behind him. That was 40 yards plus on third down. Hey, everybody falls under this umbrella. Everybody. But I guarantee you this. You talking about what you would say left? If the Notre Dame captains, whenever they decide to speak to the rest of the squad, if they aren't saying, all right, fellas, let that one go, let's go smash Duke, it's a problem. If they don't have the expectation to smash Duke, it's a problem. It's a problem. I I guarantee you, I can't guarantee it. But if I hear Marcus Freeman say this week, oh, this is going to be a tough fourth quarter game, Notre Dame's in trouble.
Absolutely. Big trouble.
Anything else before we get out of here, left? I got to prepare to watch the cat Pat Mahomes put us closer to that number one pick.
Wait, huh? What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Bears and the Chiefs play at 3.
Oh man. Oh, the boy, hey, Justin Fields said he coming to win. And he not liking that whole media trying to divide him versus the team. What's up with that, Chicago media?
Left. You know darn well the Bears have no chance in hell.
Hey, Justin Fields likes to say, hold my beer on that. Justin Fields like, hold my beer, Sean Davis, 2 mics. Well, yeah, hopefully that game is better than this sorry.
This is where the fan base needs it. The fan base, y'all got to elevate your mindsets. Okay, because I guarantee you, if Alabama with Jalen Milroe was had Duke on the schedule, Alabama fans wouldn't be saying, "Man, we got to watch out for Duke."
Absolutely not.
If Georgia fans had Duke on the schedule, I guarantee you they wouldn't be saying, "We got to watch out for Duke." If USC fans had Duke on the schedule, I guarantee you they wouldn't be saying, "We got to watch out for Duke." Y'all need to do a lot better. You just watch your team battle Ohio State to the last second, and y'all sitting here talking about Duke is going to be ready for us. The heck does that mean? Like, what the heck? What the heck does that mean? I got a list of NBA teams that were waiting for the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan in the finals.
A list of teams?
They were ready. Oh, they were ready for the Bulls, love. Just ready for them. The heck out of here, man. If Notre Dame and Duke are in a nail biter, it's because Notre Dame is playing a C-level game. And that has zero to do with Duke. That will be on Notre Dame.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it has nothing like Duke.
So your bigger issue is not Duke. Your issue is you don't trust Notre Dame. Because if Notre Dame goes into Duke and plays a B or A level game, Duke has no chance against Notre Dame. None.
Let's stop talking about it
None.
before it becomes an actual
And
thing.
yes, I named Notre Dame has beaten USC plenty of times in the last decade. What are you talking about?
If we worry about Duke, we already lost. How about that?
Cats were excited to go face Caleb Williams in USC last year with Drew Pine, but all of a sudden we're supposed to be scared of Duke. All right, man.
What was the worst loss? Notre Dame, Ohio State,
My
or
point
Oregon,
is,
Colorado?
my point is when you're an elite team. My point really wasn't about the team. My point was about the fan base.
Facts.
See, thank you. That's why I went over my man's head. My point wasn't it wasn't even about the teams, about the fan base.
Yeah, we swept.
Alabama's fan base is not going to be worried about Duke. Georgia's fan base is not about to sit up here and hype up Duke.
Wouldn't even talk about them.
USC's fan base is not about to hype up Duke. Notre Dame has beaten 28 straight ACC teams, and you want to sit up here and hype up Duke. Get the heck out of here.
Duke is more worried about us than we're worried about them.
I was talking about you, wasn't talking about the team. That's why I said the fan base wouldn't be worried. Said didn't say anything about the teams. The point was the fan base.
That's right.
Incredible, dude. Just incredible.
Damn.
Sitting up here, fans actually worried about Duke. Heck, that might be more embarrassing than the way Notre Dame lost. Straight up, I mean, just hype, dude. Who has Duke beaten, bro? Who? That's my point. Either you believe Notre Dame, because all the people in the chat was like, yeah, even though we lost, it feels different. Right? Isn't that what everybody's been saying that they left?
Yeah.
Even though we lost yesterday, it feels different. I'm encouraged. We can still run the table. We can still be 11-1. But oh man, we really got to watch out for Duke.
We need to be better. Notre Dame.
You gotta, man, gotta be so much better. You gotta be better. And once again, if you think, the game against Duke is going to be close, you don't have faith in Notre Dame.
Facts.
It says absolutely nothing about Duke. So
Yeah, we're not even talking about
stop hiding behind the fact that you think Duke is such a great team. The truth of the matter is you don't really trust Notre Dame.
that's what it is.
That's what it is. You don't trust Notre Dame. Because the question is Duke a bet as good of a team as Notre Dame? No. So
No.
therefore, if Notre Dame plays their game, there's nothing Duke can do to stop them. Nothing. They don't have the depth. They don't have the talent. So what can they do to stop them? What?
Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. My man just brought up the Duke secondary. Their front seven is bad. They can't stop the run. What have you been watching? What does Notre Dame do and want to do? Run the ball. You bringing up some secondary. No, Jared Parker and Marcus Freeman don't give a darn about Duke's secondary. Stop this run.
Stop the run. If we just
Stop
ran
this
all
run.
over, if we just ran all over,
Wait a minute. Guess who else had a great secondary? North Carolina State. What did Notre Dame say to them? Stop this run. What are we talking about? Do you even watch how football games go? Do you understand matchups? You keep talking about what Duke has. What does Notre Dame have? Because you do know Duke has to watch film and say, oh, snap, Notre Dame has this. So what does Duke have to worry about? Because you make it seem like Notre Dame has a list of stuff to worry about. And Duke has nothing to worry about. Duke is just like a top 5 team getting ready to host Notre Dame. We're sitting up here fretting over a Duke matchup. If that's the case, this program hasn't taken a step forward. They haven't.
man,
I don't know what the early point spread is on that. Notre Dame is a 7.5 point favorite, which means if the game was on a neutral field, Notre Dame would be a double-digit favorite. Just think about that, Left. Notre Dame is a 7.5 point favorite on the road.
on the road.
Home team gets a field goal, which means if it was a neutral site game with the great Duke Blue Devils, Vegas would have Notre Dame as a 10.5 point favorite. I'm worried. If Notre Dame had won yesterday, how many fans would have been worried about Duke? Do you think,
Oh
Left?
man, they would have been like, man, Duke is you about to eat their lunch.
Oh man, that's why I laugh.
But
If
that's the
Notre
same.
Dame, if Notre Dame had finished that game off yesterday, man, people would have been in the chat like, "Oh, we about to run roughshod over Duke."
But that's the same as what we would have said about Al Golden if we didn't give up that 2 minute drive. Oh, we held one of the best offenses in the country to 10. Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't do much. We doubled him all day, and they had no answer for us. But it's just that most crucial part of the game. You gave it up. You gave it up. So it
Like
changed the whole grade.
a fan that's been watching Notre Dame, maybe you spent too much time watching Duke. A fan that's been watching Notre Dame and watched them play and compete and handle things would say with confidence, Marcus Freeman is going to have his team ready come Saturday. And they're going to take care of business.
Another 40-point victory, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Left. Did you text with Coach Alfred and let him know that we proved that the running back room in Notre Dame is better?
After that loss, I haven't,
Okay.
I left it alone.
Yo, man, I tell you what though. After that game, I told Left, I said, get me out of here as soon as possible, bro.
That's right. You just want to get out. You don't even
The
want to
whole atmosphere, I was like, man, just get me back to Chicago. I said I have to sleep it off. I can't do it. I can't do it. And I'm glad I was able to sleep it off because I was able to think clearly. So I was able to make salient points. It was some tough points that I knew. Some people, especially concerning Marcus Freeman, I did not say I didn't support them. I no longer love them. I'm just saying, hey, there's some things. There's some things to think about. Hey. Dude, you keep digging a bigger hole. First you missed the point about the fan bases. So I already knew that one went over your head. You keep missing the point. You bring up Marshall and Stanford. He lost to Marshall and then had to go face Drake May and that potent North Carolina offense on the road. What did they do with Drew Pine, without the starting quarterback? What did Notre Dame do to North Carolina? An ACC opponent. That was better than Duke last year and this year. What did they do at Chapel Hill? Did they barely win, Malik? Or did they go into Chapel Hill against a top 2 NFL draft pick at quarterback and beat the dog crap out of North Carolina?
Exactly.
Is that what they did?
With Drew Pine back there.
When they lost to Stanford, how did they respond? How did they respond? Yeah, because remember they had a dangerous game at Syracuse. Remember that? After the loss to Stanford, close loss. How did they respond? See, the dude, obviously, he just loves Duke. Because they had Syracuse and Clemson, 2 games that people said Notre Dame would lose. They went to Syracuse and did what to Syracuse? Was it a close game or did they beat the crap out of Syracuse?
Pick six, first play of the game.
Okay, okay. And then they came back home with another game that people said they were going to lose. And what did they do to Clemson? That was undefeated.
Hey, gave them what they asked for.
So, since your point is that Ohio State was a close emotional loss, you need to go check Marcus Freeman's track record when he has those type of losses and how Notre Dame plays the next week. Go check his history. And maybe you'll stop your foolishness. Maybe you'll stop your foolishness.
Damn.
I don't know what else to say.
Seriously.
You're worried about, so your point is the fact that you just brought up, see, now you're lying. I just caught you in your lie. I just caught you in your lie. Because you said all your thoughts were about Duke. And I told you, no, stop lying. You don't love Duke that much. You're just worried about Notre Dame. And the fact that you just brought up a tough emotional loss to Ohio State lets me know that you have concerns about your team and not Duke, which is what I told you. I read through the crap. You keep trying to hype up Duke. Your concern ain't Duke. You know darn well Duke ain't that good. And you know darn well Duke is not on Notre Dame's level.
And like you said, if we beat Ohio State yesterday and they didn't score that last touchdown, we beat them 14-10, you wouldn't say any of
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't be concerned. You wouldn't be worried. You'd be like, man, we about to just do them dirty. Ohio State lucky we didn't beat them by more. That's what you would have said.
The fact you just brought up, oh, well, they lost a close, emotional game to Ohio State. What does that have to do with anything if Duke is Duke?
Duke is Duke. They don't have
Duke is
enough to
Duke.
even. They don't
If
have
Duke
enough to
is
even.
that type of team, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have faith in Notre Dame coming off this Ohio State game. Just say it.
Just
It's
say it.
cool. You might not be alone. Some people might say, you know what, man, I kind of worry about them and how they're going to recover from this game, too. I know every time we hear about some tough ACC team over the last 2 years, Marshall ain't in the ACC. Stanford ain't in the ACC. For whatever reason, every time we hear about some tough ACC opponent, Notre Dame ends up kicking their butt.
Every time.
Every time. What, Duke? Is Duke better than Clemson was last year? Is Duke better than North Carolina was last year? Is Duke even better than North Carolina State? Like, what makes Duke so special?
Exactly.
Please let me know. Let me know. Left, about to go watch this number one pick. Hello,
Trying to get to this Jets Patriots game so I can get on it.
is the how's your boy doing?
Who?
Kyle Wilson,
Kyle Wilson. Yeah.
the quarterback for the Jets.
Oh, Zach Wilson. Trash.
Zach Wilson, I'm sorry, Zach Wilson.
Oh man, he's being Zach Wilson. It's 10-15. Jets got the ball to win, so we're gonna see what happens.
All right, all right. No, my man said we're gonna watch the game together. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
I don't tweet during games. I need to get away from people like you. I need positive energy around me.
I can't be around people like you, man.
Mm, mm, mm.
Well,
We got it out. I'm not an Italian beef fan, Lilo Galante. I just never been. My dad is a huge. He does the combo Italian beef, Italian sausage
mm,
with extra juice. Oh yeah, Ryan Day is a goofy. You said that already, left right?
yeah, we done put him on the barbecue cooker a long time ago.
Your boy Dan Lanning is man. What he said was cute and funny. I do have to admit that.
Yeah, he ain't playing for clicks, I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, but
I I have no problem. I have no problem with what he said, dude. But you know what's ironic about what he said and then what he went out there and did?
what?
He knows what it feels like because that's how he felt when Kirby stomped him 56 to nothing a year ago.
Oh yeah, in the opening game,
Yeah,
yeah.
see, cats have short memories. Cats have short memories. Cats want to talk. They want to act like Dan Lanning is standing up for all of us. Dan Lanning just took the same type of whooping just a year ago,
I mean, whooping.
and he had athletes. He had a better roster than Prime, and Kirby let up on him. That's the crazy thing.
Could have been a 60-point effort.
Man, Kirby hit the brakes like, man, I don't want to really
Mess y'all season up this early.
embarrass him like this. Oh man, you know. So, dude, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. I'm glad they did what they did. I know one thing though. Somebody yesterday was trying to act like Bo Nix was a top five pick all of a sudden. I was like, all right, now here we go.
There we go. You know
Here
they're gonna
we
start
go.
that Bo Nix
Here.
train this year.
Is Dabo slipping? I don't think Dabo is slipping. I think Dabo is very stubborn. I think he refuses to evolve. Somehow, some way, he thinks that he can just recruit and develop and win the way college football was 6 years ago. I think Dabo's still a really good coach.
I'm just stuck in the past.
Uh, say it again.
He's just stuck in the past.
Yeah, you know, once again, he doesn't have generational quarterbacks to cover the other ills. It
That's
is what it is. I'm talking to the parent of a Notre. That this just goes to show you if we have Ohio State fans in the chat. I'm talking to a parent literally right now of an Ohio State player. He basically said both coaches were suspect, both head coaches yesterday. And he basically said that the players saved Ryan Day yesterday. He said after he made that call on fourth down, they were in Columbus on radio talking about firing him on Monday before things happened at the end of the game. Whoa, Joe Papa, wait, Blake Grupe just missed a field goal to win?
For who?
The Saints.
The Saints. Oh, they're playing the Packers. That's a good game. They were getting smoked at first.
Mm-hmm.
But Blake Grupe must have saw his counterpart last week and yesterday and was like, yeah, let me repeat that performance.
Wow, Bernie. Bernie, uh, what has Dion ever lost at? You seem to have a personal problem with Deion Sanders. And I hope it's not because of like he's a loser. I I can't think of one thing Deion Sanders has lost that in life. I can't. Maybe you can. See, this is the problem in life when people don't like people because of their personality or things they say
Right.
or the way they think. Yeah, we did talk about Spencer Schrader. I don't know what it takes to find a decent oh, he said Ryan Day is a loser. Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, he's corny. We don't we don't mess with Ryan Day.
Yeah. What's your boy name? Justin Yoon. I could take man, does Justin Yoon have
Yo,
some little brothers?
Justin Young, that was the last of the dying breed right there, man. Just stone cold killer with the foot. Stone cold. Justin Young gonna knock it down. He even had the classic, ooh, he make
Man,
it, you, yeah.
man. We need him back.
Justin Young that deal. And he out of Chicago. And my dog out of Chicago. Young.
You should have never told me that, love. That I did not know.
Oh
I
yeah.
just learned something. I did not know the last great place kicker for Notre Dame was out of Chicago.
Yep. And
Boy, let me tell you, boy. Let me
all
tell
time
you something.
scoring leader.
Woo! Before that, it was this kid named Nick Setter. He's out of Chicago too. That was pretty good as a place kicker for Notre Dame. I'm just saying, bro.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I don't know where Craig Hendrick was from, but I'm just saying. Chicago has that for you if you need it.
Okay. They got the point makers.
Hey, I'm just saying, boy. You know what I'm saying?
I hear it.
I'm just saying. You know,
Just saying.
that's all I'm saying. You know, we give you point guards, place kickers, wide receivers, offensive linemen, defensive linemen. Chicago will give you what you need now.
Mm,
We'll
I hear
give you
that.
what you, well, we don't have too many defensive backs now. I'll be honest about that. Not too many defensive backs. Quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying? Our track record is like Tommy Reese, JJ McCarthy, it's not too good. It's not like Ohio and Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I know what you're saying when you say that.
Yeah, track record for quarterbacks in Illinois is It's a little iffy.
Mm.
But hey, great show today. Tomorrow we'll hear from Marcus Freeman. We'll hear from the players post game. We'll let this one go, and then we'll start looking to the prime time tough matchup with the Duke Blue Devils in Durham on Saturday night.
That's right.
Should be a barn burner. I'll let Left answer this one. Left, how would Andy Ludwig have handled the last offensive drive last?
With great stewardship.
Nicely done with the stewardship. I like that. That
That's
was
right.
nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, and Notre Dame fans, people hit me on Twitter with this, talking about Lou Holtz gave Ohio State bulletin board material. Come on, man, be better.
If they weren't motivated already, they needed Lou Holt's 86-year-old self.
That tells you everything you need to know about the motivational speeches of Ryan Day.
Yeah.
If his motivational speech had Lou Holtz in it, in that whole everybody against Ohio, Joe goofy self out of here. Left, hit me up later on, bro.
Absolutely. Find a good little lunch spot or something right now.
I told you last night to go to the Moxie. If you
Oh,
want,
okay. The Moxie.
man, they got one in Nashville too.
The Moxie.
The
Okay.
Moxie though. Yep, hit up the Moxie. But love for Sean Davis. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another edition of the Lefty podcast. Spin it different.